let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually paid for anything with physical cash? It's becoming kind of rare, right? Well, that simple change is just one part of this huge global shift, and Europe's answer is a pretty radical idea called the digital euro. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it is and why it might just completely change the wallet in your pocket. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at why money itself is changing so fast. Then, we'll get into the really high-stakes dilemma that's forcing Europe's hand. That'll lead us right to the digital euro itself. We'll also have to navigate this maze of new regulations and wild rumors. And finally, we'll land on the big one. What could all this actually mean for you? All right, let's kick things off with something we've all noticed. You know, that jingle of coins in your pocket or the feeling of a crisp banknote. That whole experience, it's slowly but surely fading out of our daily lives. I mean, it's a totally fair question, isn't it? Whether you're tapping your card, your phone, or just clicking buy now online, digital is pretty much the default setting these days. And you know, this very decline in how much we use physical cash is a massive reason why central banks all over the world are scrambling to figure out what comes next. But here's the thing, it's not just about cash quietly disappearing, it's about what's rushing in to fill that void. We are watching a whole new financial world get built right before our eyes. And it's being dominated by giant payment companies, unpredictable cryptocurrencies, and yeah, the same big tech firms that already run so much of our digital lives. And this is where things get really serious for Europe. For the European Central Bank, this whole shift isn't just about making payments more convenient. No, this is about sovereignty, about control, and about the stability of the entire Eurozone. The stakes are incredibly high. And they've been super clear about what keeps them up at night. First up, foreign dominance. A massive chunk of Europe's digital payments are actually handled by American companies. Second, the explosion of private money. We're talking about stablecoins, digital tokens usually pegged to the US dollar, all created by private companies. And third, losing a public anchor. See, cash is money that's guaranteed by the central bank. If cash disappears, that direct link we all have to risk-free state-backed money, well, it disappears too. And this quote, wow, it really cuts right to the heart of their fear. When the Dutch central bank governor says this, he's spelling it out. The nightmare scenario is that a popular, privately owned digital currency could get so big that it starts to challenge the euro itself, basically undermining the whole system from the inside out. So when you strip it all down, it boils down to this one fundamental question of power. Who gets to write the rules for the money of the future? Is it going to be private companies who are driven by innovation and, let's face it, profit? Or is it going to be public institutions whose main goal is stability and sovereignty? And that question leads us directly to Europe's official answer to this whole dilemma, the massive project to create a digital euro. So what even is this thing? Well, according to the European Central Bank, the official definition is pretty simple. It's a digital version of cash, issued directly by them. But they are hammering this point home. It's meant to complement banknotes and coins, not replace them. It's all about giving you another option. This chart is actually perfect for seeing where the digital euro fits in. Just look at that top row, issuer. The money in your bank app, that's a liability of a private commercial bank. Stablecoins, private companies. Bitcoin, a decentralized network. The digital euro would be totally different. It would be a direct liability of the public central bank. It's designed to be perfectly stable, one-to-one with the real euro, and carry basically zero risk. So what's the sales pitch to us, the actual users? Well, for starters, it would be free for basic everyday use. Shopping online, paying in a store, sending a friend some money for lunch, no fees. The ECB is also promising it will be secure and private, and again, that it's designed to live right alongside the cash we already use. But of course, creating a whole new form of public money is not that simple. It's happening in a pretty messy, fast-moving world of crypto innovation, wild speculation, and this global race to figure out how to regulate the whole thing. So before a digital euro can even exist, the EU had to set the stage. And that's where something called MiCA comes in. Think of the markets and crypto assets regulation as the EU's attempt to write a comprehensive rulebook for the entire crypto world. Basically, trying to tame the Wild West and create a clear legal framework for everything. But even with new rules, you can't stop the rumor mill. For instance, a claim just took off in the crypto community that the digital euro was already being trialed on a very specific blockchain, the XRP ledger. And that, as you can imagine, created a ton of excitement and speculation. And the reality, well, Official sources from the ECB have been completely silent on the technology they're using. They haven't confirmed a single thing about using XRP or any other blockchain for that matter. It's just a perfect example of the huge gap between online hype and the confirmed facts of the project. And this really gets at a huge technical difference. Think of something like Bitcoin like a public bulletin board, where a whole crowd of people has to agree before anything gets posted. There's no single boss. The digital euro is the exact opposite. It's going to be more like a traditional bank's private ledger, where the ECB is the one and only authority in charge of verifying everything. I love this quote from a top ECB regulator because it just nails the problem they're facing. He uses this metaphor of the owl of Minerva, which only takes flight at dusk. What he means is that wisdom, or in this case regulation, often shows up too late, after all the important stuff has already happened. They're constantly playing catch-up with technology. So, with all that complexity swirling around, what does the future actually look like? Let's get into the concrete timeline and what this could all really mean for you and your wallet. First things first, this is not happening tomorrow. The current timeline suggests the legal stuff won't be finalized until around 2026. After that, a small pilot program with a few users could start in 2027, and the absolute earliest we might see a full public launch? 2029. So yeah, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, but let's say it does launch. What's actually new for you? Step 1, you could hold money directly with the central bank, which would make it, in theory, the safest form of money possible. Step 2, no more waiting for payments to clear over the weekend. Transactions would be instant, 24/7. And step 3, which is maybe the coolest feature, the potential to send money offline, from one phone directly to another. Kind of like handing someone a 5-euro note. No internet required. And at the end of the day, all of this leads us to one final critical question. Will the digital euro actually become this powerful, essential public utility for our new digital age? Or will it just end up as a complicated, bureaucratic experiment that nobody really asks for and very few people actually use? The answer, whatever it is going to define the future of money in Europe for decades to come.